Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of After Class, where we talk about anything and everything after class. So today, Leena and I have brought very special guests on set with us today. So we have our friends from our previous schools, and the topic today will be about
friendship after graduation. Like, we're no longer in the same school, but we are still friends and we still see each other. So today we'll be exploring more on that topic.
Yeah.
Basically, in secondary school, we were in the same music program. So if you guys know it, it's MEP. So we actually met at MEP camp. Yeah, when we were sec 3.
Yeah.
Correct.
It just so happened that we were grouped together in the same group. Yeah, so that's how we got to know each other.
We met in secondary school in secondary 1. We were in the same class, but then we only got closer in secondary 3 because we were desk mates.
Yeah, we became desk mates, so we started talking more.
I think it would be sort of an emotional connection with a person that goes beyond like an acquaintance, and you trust this person.
I guess what we are saying it would be that let's say if I think about you and I want to know where you are, like I hope that you're doing well in life and like I genuinely care about you.
I think it's like friends who will be happy to see that you're doing well. I think that's something that is kind of hard to find, and also like friends that you know when you want to just randomly text that person will be like happy to hear from you.
For me, I think friendships are like close friendships, I guess, are like people you know that they always have your back, even if you don't really talk to them as much anymore.
I think it's more transactional before, to be honest. What do you think?
I also think so, because in JC you have something to gain from each other, or like in school you have something to gain. But like as you graduate, then there's nothing much for you to like so-called gain or lose whether you want to talk to this person or not. So those friendships that remains as friendships kind of grow like stronger and deeper instead.
I think some friendships do, obviously. Like some friendships will become like more transactional over time. But I feel like we haven't reached that stage of adulting to like need that connection level. Right now we are still just like playing around in uni. Yeah. Or if you say our friendship, I definitely don't think our friendship has become transactional.
I guess the friendship has that sort of base for you to reach out to that person, and if maybe it comes from a more genuine point, even the transaction, it might not be as like frowned upon as one might think it is.
Text? No, I mean we meet up occasionally also. Okay, after years, let's talk about after secondary school then. We were still in the same JC, so it's like we still see each other, we still have like similar social circles, similar things to talk about. Yeah.
We took the same subjects, and then we have mutual friends, so inevitably we will somehow bump around each other in school.
I think it is a very low maintenance friendship actually. How did we keep in contact?
I don't think we really try.
We did lah. Like we still got go out once in a while.
Yeah.
And if I ask you to like that time when I wanted to borrow stuff from you, then we go and ask Richie. That kind of thing is like we are very willing to just show up if we are like asked, but we didn't like put in that extra effort to meet up in the first place. Like I think for us it was cause we both like to make music, so we kind of hang out within like the same kind of group. Then sometimes like when she performs, I'll go and watch, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Both of us understand that we don't need to see each other every day or text each other every day to maintain the friendship, but rather like checking up on each other like once in a while. I think, yeah.
I feel like we maintain our friendship also because we rely on each other, like still. Like when like deep dark secrets that come up and I have no one to tell, I still tell her the first person. Sec 4, that was prom. Okay, we call it bar moss in my school. We just give away my school like that, you just give away our school like that. But anyways, yeah, we booked the hotel room with a few of our other friends, and then like we got dressed up together, and then after the prom we went back to the hotel room to chill, eat chips, watch show.
But yeah, I think it was really nice because it was like one of the first few times outside of school that it was like a big girls' night out thing. So
Yeah.
it was quite special. Because before that, like I never really experienced any of these.
I think there was this one time where we kind of found a random cafe at the void deck.
Oh yeah,
Do you
that was the
remember that?
Bishan one. That's the Bishan.
Yeah, it's the Bishan one. Then after that, we just sat there for like hours and talked about
Like the
like,
string
just
stuff, right?
yeah, like just like what we wanted to achieve.
We talk about CCA. We talk about like our seniors. We talk about like everything that we have in common and like what were our plans.
Everything JC kids will talk about.
Yeah.
To be frank, our lives have been quite like smooth sailing. I mean, okay, exams are like hard, but like I wouldn't say that there's like a major setback in our lives.
I don't think there was anything truly bad, but
Like, it wasn't like worst, but I think we have like some small little conflicts with our teacher in charge for CCA. There was this incident about like the keys. So by right, you and the president will have had the keys, right? So
we did have the keys. It was so the like TLDR it was like taken away from us because like a series of events happened.
the doors will be unlocked on its own in the afternoon somewhere, and then the aircons will be turned on. So which was what that was what alerted the teachers, cause like the music teachers in the school complained to our CCA teacher in charge as to like why our aircon was always on.
I think like the breaking point was that like someone peed in the dustbin. Yeah, like in our CCA room, and then I mean until today we don't know who did it.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
it's like we went in and then we just
saw that there was
discovered it.
pee inside the dustbin, so they threw away the bin.
So this happened in JC,
Okay.
and so I was in floorball, so that was my CCA, and you
I was
wanted to-
not in floorball.
yeah, and then I think you wanted to bring
A floorball friend from another school to like watch their floorball match.
in my team were having like a
Yeah.
friendly with another school. Like that guy wasn't from this school.
Yeah.
But I think you wanted to bring like a friend to just come along and watch because like floorball, then everybody can enjoy
Yeah,
together.
everyone can just like watch floorball together. But then I think people got upset because like her CCA, like she and the girls team like were a bit like confused. Why is there this random stranger here that like I brought? Then obviously they were kind of upset at me for bringing it. And then she's my friend, so she had to deal with like her teammates, and also she had to deal with like me. So I think that made her very stressed.
I think the only thing that can be like considered a conflict between like two non-confrontational people is our CCA, the position, that's all. I was vying for the vice president role for our CCA, but I got the secretary instead. And then this girl applied to be the secretary, she got the vice president instead. And this was like, this all has nothing to do with us. This decision was something to do with the teacher and the seniors. Right, so it wasn't like within our control. And that happened right after like the Bishan library thing. So it was like a very nice like memory, and then like suddenly it became like, oh, this revelation. And I guess like that caused a bit of awkwardness between the both of us. Yeah, but it kind of resolved itself naturally.
I have like a question, but like it's not but it's like nothing. It's like nothing bad.
Go ahead. I'm
Okay,
ready.
for context, right? I'm a very physically affectionate person. Like, I hug every one of my friends, but for some reason, right, we don't really like hug each other. We don't like hold hands. But like only like recently in uni, like when you see me, right, then you were like cling onto my arm. Then I was like a bit like oh my god, Stephanie is becoming affectionate.
As I grew older, I became more comfortable with people's physical touch. So like not just with you.
I guess like we have seen each other mature in many different ways, and I guess it's interesting. Like it's not you would. I mean, we probably don't have a lot of friends who have seen this. I mean,
Transition.
yeah,
And then still keep in touch and like talk for like one whole day when we meet, chill at your house and just talk for hours, that kind of feeling, right? Yeah, I think that's something that I appreciate. But okay, from my end, what I think like I wanted to say to you is that I think you have had a lot of character development. Like in JC, it would just be me and maybe like Richie lah, the third friend in the friend group. We'll be talking about a lot of things, and then you'll be like, I don't know. When I met you again in uni, then there was a very different like change in you, whereby you suddenly like talk about like different subjects. I still remember that time you replied to my Insta story about like certain like feminist kind of like issues thingy, and then we had a discussion about it. And I felt like, that's really like some character growth that you had there. Sometimes I wonder like where did that growth suddenly come out from?
Most of the growth didn't happen with each other. It happened outside in our own personal lives. But then it's like when we get
Come
back
together.
when we come together, it's like you feel it.
And that's it for today. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode on friendship after graduation. So if you have any stories you want to share, comment down below. And if you like what you see, click here for more and click here to subscribe. Bye-bye!